Glory was released on Thursday, 14 December 1989. This movie was directed by Edward Zwick, produced by Freddie Fields, and screenplay by Kevin Jarre. This movie was starring by legendary lineup actors, which are Matthew Broderick as Robert Goldshore, Denzel Washington as Trip, Carrie Elwes as Cabot Forbes, and Morgan Freeman, John Rollins. This movie also won the NAACP Image Award for Outstanding Motion Picture in 1990. Denzel Washington also won Academy Award for Best Actor in a Supporting Role in 1990 and Golden Globe Award for Best Supporting Actor Motion Picture in 1990 because of this movie. Glory also became box office film with 26.8 million US dollar with only 18 million of budget. The duration of the movie is 122 minutes, and United States of America was the country that released this movie. This movie tells a story about the 54th Regiment of Massachusetts Volunteer Infantry, the 1st Union Army, during the American Civil War in 1863. These units became the first American black soldiers. Some of those black people came from northern freemen, and some of them were the escaped slaves. This soldier was led by the Whites Army, including the son of Boston abolitionist Robert Gould Shaw. Robert Shaw, which is Matthew Broderick, returned home to recover, and he has been told to lead a new formed black regiment. Even there were some problems, and many people does not believe this unit. Robert worked hard and planned something to gain trust from the peoples and managed to send his units to the war. Racism content. Viewers should know that Glory is a classic 1989 movie about the 54th Massachusetts Regiment Unit, the first African-American volunteer company to fight in the American Civil War. Racism in many ways is shown here. The N-word is used, are dated terms such as nigger, negro, and colored. Furthermore, the black people are compared to monkeys. For example, there was one scene when the black people arrived for the first time at the camp. There were a lot of white soldiers mocked them and called them with N-words and monkey. As a result, Tripp, a product of racism, became a racist. He hates all the white people even though he became one of the 54th unit. These examples gave us as the viewers about the bad sides of the American soldiers back at that time. Violence graphics. Next, the weaknesses in this movie is the violence of the graphics. As we all know, this movie is a war movie and it cannot stop showing the violence of war graphics that should not be shown to the public. For example, a soldier's head is blown off by a cannon fire, battles with rifles and bayonets are shown. The screams of the wounded soldiers in the military hospital, including one soldier screams and begging to the doctors not to cut the parts of his body anymore. One of the memorable scenes in the movie was Tripp, found guilty of attempted desertion, was sentenced to be whipped using the horse rope in front of the entire regiment. When he removes his clothes, the whip scars clearly can be seen. As a result, this movie was rated in MPAA rating as a R-restricted movie, and viewers under the age of 17 are required accompanying parent or adult guardian to watch this movie. Storyline. The filmmakers intelligently devote the film to the regiment's training in a camp in Massachusetts. As the irate Shaw finds that he must stop the racism in his units that delays uniforms, rifles, and even shoes for his new black soldiers, viewers learned to know a group of them. The characters are Tripp, a bitter, stubborn young man from Tennessee; Rollins, a quiet older man, a natural leader and peacekeeper in the group; Shorts, a sweet boy and a sharpshooter in the unit from South Carolina; and Thomas Searles, a Boston intellectual and a best friend to Shaw and Forbes. The person who in charge to shape these men is an Irish sergeant major named Mulcahy, who insists, and not quite convincingly, that he is tough on the black people not because he is a racist, but he wanted them to have a chance at surviving. As time flies, these actors started involving. For example, one of the scenes in this movie shown that this regiment went to their first war at James Island, South Carolina on July 16, 1863. In that scene, we can see that all of these actors played their role very well, especially Sharks, who showed us his skills as a sharpshooter. All of this showed us that the director of this movie made a very good storyline. Teamwork. From the very start, Shaw was very strict, serious and tough towards his men. He also trained them from the beginning about the importance of endurance, alertness and never losing focus of their goal. Shaw also got help from other officers. Although it may seem extremely harsh and brutal to many viewers, Shaw felt it was necessary at that time in order to give the regiment about the importance and seriousness of their wartime circumstances. After a few weeks, Shaw pulled back a little from his overly harsh leadership style. He did begin to treat the infantrymen with more respect. Eventually, Shaw realized that they were more alike than they were before. The black soldier became more disciplined than before. The African American soldiers began to understand and adapt Shaw's training. They also worked hard as a team to improve to others, especially the white detractors, and Shaw that they also can become a good soldier and capable to go to the war same as the white people. This shows us that this movie gives the viewers a good example of teamwork. After watching this movie, I felt like this movie can be related to one of the 1987 movie, which is Hamburger Hill. This movie also is an American war movie and it tells the viewers about the Vietnam War, which American soldiers took part in the war in May 1969. Hamburger Hill was produced by RKO Pictures and distributed by Paramount Pictures. Overall, Glory is a good movie and everyone should watch it, even though it is a classic movie that was produced in 1989. This movie has a lot of moral value that the viewers can get from it. Glory also tells the viewers about the history of the first unit of black people became soldiers. The viewers can learn about the history from this movie so that the young generation will not forget that all the sacrifice 54th Regiment had done to the United States of America. I have some advices to those who want to watch this movie. First, please understand that this film is based on a true event that happened in 1863. It means that all events that has been shown in this movie are true. Next, please do not feel triggered and offense with the language that has been used in this film, because at that time, racism between white and black people are still happening. Lastly, for those who are under 17, please watch it with your parents or older guardian because there are some words and graphics that showed violence. That is why this movie was rated as a R movie. That's all for the Glory 1989 movie review from me. Thank you and have a nice day.